But one of the things that I've found that everybody wants to learn, I've actually given dozens of classes on this or long workshops on this, is this elusive topic of charisma, radiance, presence, whatever you want to call it. And people always want to see, how can I exude charisma, because then women will love me and they'll follow me. And I want to be like a guy on stage. I want to be very attractive to women. And then I ask them if they even know what charisma is. They say, yeah, it's why if you walk into a room and all the girls kind of like fall on the floor and, give you their phone number and take their panties off or whatever. I'm like, no, that's a fantasy. That doesn't happen, except if you enroll in my seminars, and then, of course, that will happen. But other than that, it's a myth. And even in the movies, I've seen some guys that look like fucking 10 models be unsuccessful with women. They have no presence. They're not congruent. And a lot of people talk about presence, having presence, exuding presence. But charisma is something else. It's like cognac and brandy. Every cognac is a brandy, but not every type of presence you exude is truly charisma. The difference is really that you can learn how to be present, exude presence, and there's a process to it that's a lot more than just body language. Body language is a very important, vital component of it, and without it, you probably won't get very far. You won't be able to project it. But it's only the outer layer. It's only the persona. It's studied techniques. And I remember sitting there with Hypnotica and David D'Angelo about 10 years ago and like practicing shit like very slow movements, blinking at half speed, getting rid of your nervous twitches and so forth. But that is important. But if you know Hypnotica, if you know David D'Angelo, these guys did so much fucking inner game. They've done more inner game than you guys have done game, just in the first year. And it's a lot of... What happened? Did I fart? Oh, okay. Oh, it's Skype, huh? Cool. Norwegian Skype, that's funny. Cool. Yeah, what it is you can learn how to exude a certain amount of presence. You can study outer techniques to come across as more self-assured. And there is a certain retroactive component to that. But that's not what charisma is. Charisma is defined as the gift of the gods to the chosen. And in my universe, there isn't just like random gods just dishing out favor to whoever, at their whim. To me, it's something that you can earn, you can learn, and you can make a choice in being deserving of that gift. But what they're saying is, it's almost like a pseudo-religious quality. It's a spiritual quality. And you can have all the presence in the world. You can be like the tough alpha and you're seen and you're comfortable on stage, but charisma is something entirely different. It's sort of like presence 2.0 or even 3.0. Because charisma has different components. It has, like all presence, requires you to be present and to get rid of your emotional garbage first. But what it also means is you then got to go beyond yourself. You have to become somebody greater than yourself. Do you all know who Joseph Campbell is? Hero's Journey, the hero with 1,000 faces. He was a guy that lived his vision and purpose. He wanted to study mythology. There was no such thing back then in his day. It was 100 years ago or 80 years ago, whatever. Couldn't study it. So he just read for 5 years. He just followed his bliss. That's his quote, by the way. And read everything he could find in mythology and distilled a certain process of development, particularly male development, called the hero's journey. And he then became friends with a very famous director and inspired him to make a trilogy of movies in the 70s. And that guy's name was George Lucas. And Star Wars is probably the epitome of everything that Joseph Campbell was talking about. You're somewhere in your average life, like Harry Potter, like Neo, or like, Luke Skywalker on the farm. And then there's a call to adventure. Just like when you were gonna maybe AFCs or whatever you were bad with women. You had that illusion at one point. And then all of a sudden you stumbled across, I don't know, pickup or seduction or whatever, and then you said, okay, my normal life isn't that good. I need to kind of like do something with my life. I accept the challenge, the call to adventure. So you learn some stuff, and then you realize, well, there's a little more to it than that. I need to go a little deeper with this stuff. I need to actually be a man who naturally attracts women. And at one point in your life, there is a point where part of you, your ego, kind of dies. It's always like, it's called the innermost cave, the ordeal. And that's where you die, and then you're reborn into something stronger. If you watch Harry Potter, in every single movie they have that. In every single Star Wars, in every single movie, period, they have it. Otherwise, it never gets made. Those guys sit there with Joseph Campbell's book in Hollywood, and they say, no, sorry, doesn't follow the hero's journey. It's not going to be made. It's that simple. And your life will not work unless you follow that journey. Every initiation into manhood in tribal societies, everything you guys do, going out there and challenging yourself, taking dares, bungee jumping, or what's more scary than bungee jumping? Cold approaching women? I think that's the most scary thing on earth. Most people would probably rather have their fingernails removed with red-hot pliers and talk to women, unless they go out and do that. But to get to true charisma, Joseph Campbell said, a hero is somebody who gets larger than life, who does something in his life that's bigger than yourself. Like a mission, like a vision, like living your purpose, discovering your purpose. If you look at guys like Morten, who's 23 and he's already done more in his life than most people ever will, or, I'm not singling him out. Just like I've met so many guys in the community that are so much taking that challenge, getting rid of their emotional challenges, getting rid of their issues, developing vision and purpose. And that's what gives you charisma. That's what makes you attractive on a whole new level. That's what gives you the power to convince by your presence.